On today's episode of That Mental Ginger Show, we are talking to actor, comedian, and singer-songwriter Eddy MacKenzie. Eddy, he has a voice that it was fantastic. His story is amazing. He reminds me of Brian Blessed. Do you want to know why? I'm not going to tell you right now. You've got to watch the episode. So let's cut to the intro.
All right, troops.
Eddy, my friend, the man with the ginger beard. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I just have severe ginger beard envy from you. But it's just what that is beautiful. I've got to ask before we jump in, how do you style that? Is there any styling involved, or if that's natural, I bow to your grace and presence?
Well, it's probably many of the days it's accidentally natural because I don't bother to style it. But if I do put the effort in, I do a little beard shampoo and I've got beard oils and things. But you can get pretty into it. But yeah. I feel like I am slightly blessed with a thick bushel of hair. And it gets out of hand sometimes.
Yeah. It's like I could grow everything like under here, but like the sides, as you can see, like they come in kind of patchy. I've got that kind of that neck. I've got the neck beard going on. What is my side? Yeah, it's horrible. But do those beard oils and stuff like really work? Like to help with with growth and stuff like that. If there's anybody that's looking to sponsor from beard growth places, please get in touch.
Ooh, well, yeah. I mean, very free stuff. I'd be very happy. I don't know about growth. So, I haven't done the science, but they definitely make it feel a lot nicer, and it's good for the skin underneath as well. It's all keeps everything nice and smooth and well moisturized. It's lovely.
Yeah, I always say, Alison, like every kind of 6 months or so, I'll have to go completely clean shaven so I can get moisturized and get myself all sorted. And she's like, "But you look about 14 when you do that. I feel like a pedo." Thanks, honey. Love you too. Love you too.
I too suffer from beardless babyface syndrome. It's not good, man. It's not good.
How old have people said you look when you go beardless?
Oh, the last time I shaved, which was back at the start of 2020, was the last time I was clean shaven. Like the start of the pandemic, I took it all off and I started again, and people told me I looked 12, and I didn't know what to think. Is that a compliment?
Mine is slightly older, 14.
See, that's not so bad,
I say I've just I'm at the age where I just started masturbating, so that's clearly might be acceptable. I'm not sure. But anyway,
you're discovering life.
Yes. Enough about me and my lack of ginger facial hair. We're here to talk about you and your extreme ginger facial hair. I say extreme in a positive way because I've already said I have ginger beard envy.
Oh, well, I've come to the right show with my ginger beard.
Yes. Well, if you have mental health issues as well, you fit in with the title. We are more than happy to have you.
Bada bing.
Bada bing, bada boom, bada boom. The first thing I like to do, Eddy, I like to get my guests to tell my audience their origin story, because if there's one thing we all have in common, we all have an origins. So, Eddy, for my faithful followers, please tell us your origin story.
Oh, well, how far back should I go? That's the question.
We start with the basics. Where were you born?
So, let me tell you my story. I was born down in London and spent the first 10 years. I know, big, it's all coming out now. Oh dear, this man, not a natural Scots. I know.
You've been up with us long enough. We've adopted you into the fold. We will raise you as our own.
I do feel very at home. So London, 10 years, moved up to Inverness with my family at the age of 10.
Wow, you went a right hike, my friend.
Oh my goodness, what a commute, other end of the bloody country nearly.
So you were what 10, 11 years old?
That was 10 years old because it was like halfway through P6.
Man, how many times did you have to pee during that run?
I can't remember, but probably a lot of service stations were visited, I must say.
Definitely. I remember doing a run just from where I stay in Coatbridge up to Nairn, which is just out of Inverness. And I remember having the whole,
Nairn.
yes, and I had to hold in my pee for about an hour, and I thought I was going to die.
Yep. That's about half the trip that we were taking. Oh dear. But my grandparents on my dad's side are all from up here. So we'd made the trip before. I think I was quite used to it by that point. You know, for holidays and things, we'd go up and down from London to Inverness. Yeah. But this time it was a one-way trip, no return. So spent another 10 years up in Inverness then. And in about 2011, I came to Glasgow, and that's where I've been ever since.
Well, even coming from Inverness to Glasgow, that's a bit of that's a culture shock. What, I mean, you just skipped right past Glasgow, went straight to Inverness, and then made a beeline back. So are you just working the circuit? Is it going to be like in another 10 years, you're going to maybe go to like York or something and then carry on?
Sort of work my way around, you know. I overshot. I'm coming back.
Yeah.
And we'll hit it on the return. It'll be wonderful.
Yeah, I think overshot would have been if you hit Shetland. Nothing against Shetland, but they gave me an acting gig. I'm more than grateful.
Well, hey, go on Shetland.
Yes. So what got you into the line of work that you do? For my guests, Eddy is a stand-up comedian, and he's also a pretty damn good musician, I have to say.
Oh, well. Let's do the abridged version so we don't keep people waiting all day.
Just leave them wanting more, my friends. Get them salivating for the ginger beard.
This is it. Never reveal too much at once. Always charge a return ticket price. That's the secret.
Aside from if you go to Inverness.
Oh God, yes. Ooh, yeah. So where are we now? Little Eddy got to Inverness, and he was a very good boy. He was a very well-behaved boy. He was a good student. He was quiet. He was polite. He was well-raised. Where did it all go wrong, you ask?
Answer, you came to Glasgow.
I can pinpoint a few moments where the multiverse diverged and this version of Eddy was born. A big pivoting moment was my dad, the fool, took me and a friend of mine, was it a little brother? He took some combination of boys to see School of Rock at the cinema.
I love your use of language, but the way you said he took some school of little boys to see School of Rock, that was just, oh man. I mean, make sure you keep that type of wording for your next comedy gig. That was just hilarious.
I mean, I talk like a human being. What are you saying? I am a normal man.
Yes. I am loving your thesaurus pattern, my friend. I am. I'm like, I understand some of these words. I must be doing something right.
You're a smart fella. You know a thing or two.
Oh, apparently. Well, it remains to be seen. We shall see, my friend. So you went to see School of Rock, and did that ignite the passion for you?
School of Rock. I had never seen anything like this before in my young life. I played the tuba in school at that point, so I was already on the musical sort of path. And then I went and saw School of Rock and was like, I need to get a goddamn guitar. This is life-changing. This is who I went to be. This is what the world I want to experience.
Yeah. And, you must have some lung capacity, my friend. Playing the tuba is damn difficult.
Well, that's why I'm so loud now. I've got the lung practice.
Well, you have the lungs to match Brian Blessed now because of that tuba practice.
Oh, now, alongside Jack Black, he is another reason why I'm here today, Mr. Brian Blessed. Oh, goodness me.
Cannot be better than Blessed. Cannot.
Oh, he's unreal. You know, it's not so much, I find, there aren't so many moments that define me as there are people that have influenced me and have molded me into the weird man that is here tonight.
I have to say that you're an absolute delight, my friend. I don't consider you weird in any way. Anybody can put Jack Black and Brian Blessed in the same sentence is good in my book.
Oh, well. I mean, weird in the very best sense. Nothing to be ashamed of.
Exactly.
So we are School of Rock, Brian Blessed. Basically, I got in with the wrong crowd, as my parents would put it, and I started making new friends who were into all sorts of things like music and popular culture, and they introduced me to a whole world of things I'd never heard of before. And I got into kind of comedy and things. I started watching, IT Crowd, Father Ted, all the classics, all these sort of things.
Yes, you're speaking my language, my friend.
Monty Python, all these things. I got into all of this. And then, it wasn't until I left school and I wasn't sure what I was going to do at the end of school. I'd applied to do, a uni degree because I was like, oh, you're meant to go to uni and do university. And I wasn't really sure about it. And then my mum was like, right, let's go to the college. Let's go to the college open day and see what they've got on offer. And I went along, and one of my friends was going to sign up to do the Access to Construction course. And one of my friends was signing up to do the NC Acting and Performance course. And I bet you can guess which friend I followed.
You do have that constructor vibe about you, my friend.
I'll put a wall up in 20 minutes, mate. You point me to the la.
There we go. We've all got part of that inside us. My dad's a painter and decorator. I suck at paint by numbers, but I know how to paint a wall. I can do that.
I look at my friend now. I look at my friend who is now a qualified Sparky, and he's reeling it in. And I'm like, oh, it could have been me, man. Could have been me.
Yep. Well, we don't always follow the money. We have to follow the passion. If he has not electrocuted anybody, then I salute him.
Nearly electrocuted himself a few times, apparently, but he's still standing.
If you nearly electrocute yourself, that's one thing. Or electrocuting other people, that takes skill.
You got to really mean it.
So how did you find the performing arts course?
Well, I mean, this is how I tell a story. It's terrible. So that wasn't the start of it. The start of it was in first year of high school, where I was in a school play because my English teacher at the time was like, Edward, why don't you apply for this play? I think it will be a lot of fun for you. Because I was quite shy at this point. And I was like, oh yes, oh lovely. I'll go along and do a little play. Oh yes. And I got the role of a character called Iron Rod, who was meant to be the chairman of a local council. And they gave me a fake mustache. And they put this like 13-year-old child out on the stage. And I had to walk out, and they made me do it. I did a funny voice, which was this voice, basically. And I come out, and I still remember the line, just the whole school watching us. And it was just, the council will come to order. Came out of this 13-year-old boy who never said a word in his life. And the reaction that got filled my little heart with joy. And I've chased that high ever since. That's the origin. There we are. That's the point. That moment. And then it wasn't until I left school and had a bit of independence that I could actually follow that and do what I wanted to do. And here we are.
Here we are indeed. So how did you find it at the college courses, my friend?
Well, I mean, I talk about liberation, I was suddenly surrounded by like-minded people. I was being encouraged to express myself and be creative and do all the silly things I wanted to do, and it was wonderful. And I spent two lovely years at Inverness College. And unfortunately, by the time third year was meant to roll around, the government was cutting all the school budgets. This was back in 2010, 2011, and the creative arts were gutted. So there was no third year for us, and we all had to decide where we were going to go. And a bunch of us ended up in Glasgow. That's how I ended up here.
So what college did you go to? Was it City of Glasgow College?
I looked at that. I looked at City of Glasgow. I looked at Langside. I looked at Motherwell, a whole bunch of ones. And eventually, a wee gang of us went to Coatbridge College.
Hey, my boy. I'm a Coatbridge alum myself.
Coatbridge, the place to be.
So what year would that have been that you
new-
graduated? Would that have been 2011?
That would have been, no, 2012 it would have been. 2012.
You were the year before I came back to do my final year. I graduated in 2013.
Oh,
What are
my
the
goodness.
odds? Two gingers, 1 year apart.
Oh,
Wow.
that is weird, man.
That is definitely weird. So you were there when it was like Fraser Boyle, Graham Carr.
My God,
yes,
the lads.
Yes, Stephen Gawkin, Kate Brailsford, all the crew, the homies,
the old gang. Yes. Man.
Because I remember most of it was Fraser and Stephen weren't there because I'd kind of split it over 2 separate years. 2007, 2008 was my HNC, and then I came back for 2012, 2013 to do my HND. So it's quite interesting. The difference, because for one, they'd done the whole renovation by that point, and I was like, I don't know where any of these places are. And it was interesting coming back. So what was your dip show performance? What was your final HND performance? I need to know now.
Oh, so we did so the Shakespeare one halfway through the year was The Tempest. We did that in Motherwell. We did that at the Motherwell Glow Theatre.
Yeah.
But then the final show was called Empty.
Oh, yes.
By the wonderful playwright. I can't remember her name now. Wonderful Scottish playwright. We met her as well. Oh my goodness. It'll come back to me. But
I think I know who it is you mean, because I'm pretty sure that we got told about her and she came back to give 2 other plays for our class as well. That she'd wrote. I think I didn't do either of them. I did Arsenic and Old Lace, but I loved Arsenic and Old Lace. It was fantastic. You currently Googling to try and find out what the name of that playwright was?
You can tell the look on my face. Kathy Thorpe.
There we go. Yes, it was her. It was her.
Really good.
Such a brilliant playwright as well, and such a nice person too. I only got to meet her a couple of times because she was obviously working with the people that she casts, and I wasn't one of them. But the times I did get to meet her, she was an absolute delight. As all the lecturers were, even though I could be a pain in the ass sometimes. But that's what you do.
That's what college is about. It's about being a pain and figuring out the lines.
Definitely. So did you go to university after Coatbridge College, or were you or did Coatbridge break you? Because it broke quite a few people.
I like to say that I went down the trade route, so to speak, because some of my class went on to UWS, and some of them went through to Edinburgh for Napier and did the degree there. But I stuck around in Glasgow and just did a load of student films. I did a load of weird amateur theatre. I did a load of crappy voiceover stuff. See if you were if we went the same at the same time, because after I left the college, I went and started my own theatre company for a 12-month project. You could have been involved with my insanity and seen how nuts I was back in the acting days. How close you could have been to joining Unchained Theatre Company. Oh, I recognise the name.
Yes. I did a massive marketing push for it because it was only a 12-month thing and it was building up to one big show. And I was like, let's see how we go. Let's do it. It had the opposite effect because it completely broke me because no one fucking came. But I still did it. And I was very happy I did it. Gave a lot of people their first acting gigs because I made sure to pay them as well.
Very good. Very good, yes.
Even though we were not for profit, I still gave them pay. What can I say?
That's it. You got to pay your people.
Yeah. It's one of the things I'm very passionate about is making sure that what an artist does get paid. If I can't pay them what they're worth, which I always try to do, I always make sure to give them something, even if it's £1. So I can say, look, it's money for you, and you can count this as a paid gig and get it on your acting CV.
Oh yes.
Because is that the one that you got told about as well, where it was the kind of college and breaking out, if it wasn't paid work, it didn't count. And then you're like, oh, but I've had this work. Well, no, that's extra work. That doesn't count. But I still got paid. I got paid more than I would have done if I did the independent work.
This is it's a bit of a weird industry, isn't it?
The Catch-22, indeed.
Man.
Mm.
Oh, it's a funny old game.
It really is. So, but the voiceover work I've got to. I've thought you might have had voiceover work because your voice is, and I mean this with the greatest of compliments. Excuse the vulgarity. Fucking phenomenal.
Hey, well, thank you very much.
Seriously, it is a voice that I would be very happy. I would picture you on like BBC Radio 2 during the lunchtime hour, where you could just sit back, relax, enjoy the voice. You don't even need to worry about any music. Just enjoy the voice.
Well, it's funny you mention that, because after I did Coatbridge College, I actually went back to college and I did 2 years of a radio course at City of Glasgow. I went, hey, because I figured, I always was a fan of radio, and I wanted to kind of pursue. I like the music side, I like the talk radio side. I wanted to learn more about how it all worked, and so I wasn't ready to get a real job, so I did 2 more years of college. And
trust me, I am now just coming out of a real job, and I could not be happier.
Oh man, it's not recommended.
No, not really. Well, if you get the quote unquote real job in the performing arts sector, that's fantastic.
Oh heavens, yes.
Yes, well, so I know how lucky I have been. Well, as I prided at the time of this interview, Frank is still keeping me in a job. So what was the plan for radio? Were you going to set up your own radio station, your own company? What? I mean, also because everybody has the dreams when they go into it, or was it just give me a couple of years of not working?
Well, it was a thing I had a lot of interest in working in, and over the years that I was at college, I did a lot of internet radio. I was lucky enough to work on some community radio stations, so I did.
Nice.
I did a couple shows on Pulse FM out of Barhead.
Oh yes, well, I've been on Pulse Radio as a guest.
Pulse 98.4.
Yes, was Christina Littleson there when you were there?
Oh yes, Christina.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she was
very
there.
Nice.
Well, did you ever go into Sunny Govan Radio?
I never. I was on it doing other stuff like interviews for various projects, but I've not done it myself. I never did a show or anything like that. But they're very cool, Sunny Govan.
Yes,
big fan.
Definitely. Just celebrated their 21st birthday as well.
Ooh.
Well, it was a nice segue because they celebrated their 21st birthday at the place that I met your good self in McCool's in Glasgow.
Oh,
when we were doing our stand-up comedy.
Yes.
But sadly, I had missed both times that you were on because I look after my boys in the evening when my wife does a back shift. She doesn't get back till 8 o'clock. So by the time I got into Glasgow, it was 8:30. But I did make sure to do my, as I called it, market research, which is just Facebook stalking and just stalking every social you can find. Right. So I knew what it was that you were doing. I was able to find some things and find some reviews. But how did you come about incorporating the guitar into your comedy set?
So we're coming along here. We're getting to the actual crux of the thing.
I know. So, well, you're the proper steam engine, and I'm just like the high speed engine going. Let's get there.
Oh, I'm a locomotive. I'm chugging along.
We've got to get you on the ginger engine, my friend. You use the right terminology. We need to get you on the ginger engine.
I'll be on anything, mate. I'll do whatever.
Don't worry. And that one's more likely, you're more likely to get paid for that one. So
ooh la la.
Yes.
Well.
Yes. Especially because hearing the voice and how good it is, you would be perfect for narrating some Thomas the Tank Engine stories.
Oh my God. I love Thomas.
Yes. Susan Sutton, that is not me putting you out of work. I just think he would have some great characters that we could work with here.
Well, this is networking, boys and girls. That's what this is.
This is just this is what I call blowing smoke up people's asses, so they're more likely to do it. AKA networking. I just right. So the comedy and the guitar. Here we go.
Yes. So we've got a weird little guy who becomes a sort of weirder, louder, older man who gets into performing, who starts, getting into playing music. When I came to Glasgow, so that's another thing. I was always into music and stuff. And when I came to Glasgow, I made a band with some friends. And ever since then, I've been in a few different bands over the years, and we've played around Glasgow and different places in Scotland and stuff. And so I've always loved music. I've always loved performance. I've always loved comedy. And over the years, I've always written weird little songs that never fit anywhere else. You know, like none of the bands wanted them. They were like, oh, they're just silly songs, you know. And then some of them, I was like, I don't know if I can do this anyway, you know. And then I had friends that did stand-up comedy, and I was always very impressed. I was like, how do you get into that? How do you do that? And they were like, oh, you just do it. And I'm like, what does that mean? And so I started joining all the Facebook groups and like stalking, and I started seeing like calls for open mics and stuff. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll sign up. Oh. And so naturally I lurked for a year and a half and did nothing until one fateful time, which was the summer of 2019. I'm a summer baby, so my birthday is at the end of July, so I'm normally home for a week or so around then. I go back home soon.
I am the end of June, my friend. The last day in June. So there we go.
Nice.
What? There's so much that we are having in common, my friend. We have gingerness. We went to Coatbridge College. We are summer babies. Though we be ginger, I have to hide during the summer. We both also wrote like quirky parody songs. I released 2 parody albums to raise money for charities. One for a theatre school for kids with additional support needs, and the other one for a group with mental health issues, which was really good. So it's one of the reasons why I was asking how you managed to incorporate it, because when I tried doing stand-up the first time, way back in, I think it was 2015, 2016, and I tried incorporating a bit of comedy and then leading into my parody songs and then doing a bit more comedy, so kind of intertwined. Some people got it, some people didn't, but yeah, that just rocked my confidence. So like, how did you find it when you started incorporating them? What was your process?
Well, I'd been sitting on them for years, and I'd sort of like never really known what to do with them. Songs that I'd written with my friends years ago, and some I'd written more recently. And like I'd recorded some and put them out, and people were like, "Oh, these are very good." And then I didn't know, how to perform them live or what to do with them or anything. So so end of summer 2019, I was home for a couple of weeks for my birthday, and there used to be a comedy club up in Inverness called Chuckter's Comedy Club, which unfortunately has kind of disbanded now. But at the time, it was going strong, and I got in touch because I'd seen that they had a thing up on the Scottish Comedy Forum saying open mic this weekend, and I was like, oh well, I'm home and I don't really do stand-up, but I've got some funny songs, quote unquote. Can I come and try them? And the guy was like, a lovely big man called Haldy was like, yeah, come on, do your songs, fuck it, it's an open mic, come and have a go. And I was like, brilliant, this is, it won't always be this easy, he thought. And I went along, and then basically my first gig was in the upstairs like event space of a tapas bar in Inverness, to a room of comedians and my dad. And that has basically been most gigs since then, really. That's how the industry works. It's all weird back rooms with other comedians and a dad, And I did stuff. He put me on at the end. He was like, we'll put you on at the end. We can have some music. That'll be fun. I was like, oh my God. So I went the whole night, had a few pints. I was watching everyone else. And I finally get on stage and I play my songs and I come off, and, my dad's very nice. He's like, oh, it's very good. Lovely. Well done. And then the Haldy comes up and he shakes my hand and he goes, well, that wasn't shit, so we'll get you back. And I was like,
brilliant.
I was hooked from that moment on. So I don't really know how, it all came together because I love music, I love comedy, I love entertaining things. And I sort of started with the songs, and it became a way to be on stage and a way to, have a chance to perform at an audience, much easier than trying to get an acting role or anything like that. I found that comedy is so easy to get work in, ridiculous. And I've used the songs as a platform to then write jokes and build like a sort of set around and have a routine. And it's just been the best fun. It really has. Like, doing a comedy gig is so unlike anything else. And the adrenaline and the energy and just the buzz. Oh, it's delightful. Oh, it's delightful.
It really is. But so what do you have coming up, my friend? Like, sell your wares. Tell us where you're going to be. This will be going out at the time of this recording next Friday. So sell from next Friday onwards. Where are you going to be so we can try and plug you?
From next Friday onwards. So the 20th, would that be next Friday? Yes. Oh, well, let's see. So local gigs. So Glasgow people. I'm doing the diversity quota on May 25th, which is a lovely gig.
Excellent.
Up at the Gilchrist Postgraduate Cafe or something like that, up at Glasgow Uni. If you Google, look up the diversity quota online. Very cool gig. Guy called Elliot runs that. Very funky stuff. My band. If you want more of the music, less of the comedy, my band are playing a gig on the 27th at the Old Hairdressers in Glasgow.
Oh, the Old Hairdressers is a brilliant venue.
So good.
I will try and come along because I am going to be in Glasgow that day. I'm going to be at the Panopticon. We'll probably had about 3 panic attacks during that night, so I will need to come along and see a gig. We'll have to try and calm down.
We'll bring you back down to earth. Yeah, we've got a lovely. We've put it together ourselves as well, so we're very pleased. We've got the Stiff Lips and Anna Seat are both playing with us at that show.
Brilliant!
So great.
Yeah.
What else am I doing? I'm going back to McCule's on the 29th to do Unchained comedy.
Brilliant. Well done, my friend.
Thank you. I have approximately nothing booked in for June, which is when I'll be doing a lot of open mics to try and prepare for later stuff, because let's skip ahead a little bit. So that is local and recent stuff, so soon to happen stuff. But what's really exciting is in August, I'm doing a headline show in Inverness. They've asked me to come and they've asked me to come and do like a solo show in Mad Hatter's Hootenannies in Inverness.
Fantastic, my friend. Well done.
Which is crazy.
That's brilliant. So will that be like a full 30-minute or an hour set?
I've said that I'll do 30 to 40, and I've got a local support as well, so it'll be about an hour show all in all.
Fantastic.
Yeah, because it's a wonderful a guy called Steve who does a lot of event stuff up in Inverness. A friend of mine slid into my DMs and was like, "Eddie, do you want to do a headline slot in Madhouse sometime?" And I was like, okay. I like taking risks and give it a shot.
Oh, definitely. Well, it sounds like you don't have like the stuff booked for June. That brings me to the next part. As we're starting to come up on time, where can we find you, Eddie? Where can we plug your wares? Sell your links to us, my friend. And of course, once they have been sent, they will be in the link in the description below.
Nice. So on Facebook, I am Eddy MacKenzie actor. I think I finally settled on that. On Twitter, I am Eddy MacKenzie _ because Eddy MacKenzie is owned by a dog who I really can't be mad about, so they're welcome to it. On Instagram, I think I'm just Eddy MacKenzie. Same as TikTok as well. I like a bit of TikTok these days because I'm a funky young man.
I'm an old man, my friend. I have not made TikTok yet.
I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. I just do silly things on there, silly things. That's Eddy MacKenzie as well. I'm on YouTube. I'm on everywhere, really.
Yes. Well,
you'll have the links. The links will be somewhere. You know what you're doing.
The links will be in the description below for anybody that's watching. We are now coming up on our 2-minute warning. What damn you, Zoom.
Oh heavens.
Yes. So I will ask you the final question that I ask all my guests, since this is a mental health podcast. If you could give one piece of advice to anyone that's struggling with mental health issues at this point in time, what would that piece of advice be and why?
Ooh, of course, it all depends on what the issues are, what the particular situations you're in. But I think the most important thing is having a support network, whether that is, a huge group of people, or even if that's just one person that you can rely on. If you've got somebody that you can talk to, and even if you think you don't, you will have. It'll surprise you when you reach out and you think you're all alone. If you reach out, you'll find that there are people who give a damn about you and really want to, help you along. And it's cliched, but the power of talk is incredible. Just talking about problems shares them with someone else, and it takes the responsibility and the weight off your shoulders. And there are, of course, more serious things that sometimes need more permanent help. But talk is the first thing. You're never alone. It's a big, scary world, but you're never alone. There's a billion of us out here all struggling, and we all want to help each other. So have a chat, have a gabble.
Definitely, my friend. Eddy, you have been an absolute delight to have on. Normally we have the Ask Andrew segment, but due to Zoom being D words, we've had to cut it for time. So let's get a petition going to Zoom to bring back the unlimited time so we can get back to Ask Andrew anything.
Zoom!
But I'm the board. It gives me more time to appreciate my guests and how much I have enjoyed your company. You have been an absolute delight, my friend. I would genuinely ask you if you were Brian Blessed's grandson. Like, you just have that type of warmth and energy about you. Brian Blessed makes Peppa Pig worth watching for us dads. So this is high praise. We are indebted to the Brian Blesses of this world.
Brian!
So
what a man.
Until next time, my faithful followers, I have been Andrew Durning. This has been the talented, brilliant Eddy MacKenzie. Please check out all the socials that will be in the links and descriptions below and go see him. He is, quote unquote, a funny motherfucker.
Lovely.
So until next time, my faithful followers, take care, stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye.